Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today we are going to be taking a look at this week's warfare unit here. So in terms of this week, we are going to be getting the GP01 SH build, so you guys do know that, again, this is going to be a recycled unit. And then in terms of the overall EX skill, they did went ahead and changed up a little bit. In terms of like just the overall, like they did like, I wouldn't say they did like a massive improvement overall. There's definitely going to be something that's good, there's definitely going to be something that's bad. So in terms of overall suit, we are still going to be getting 7-part here, so not surprised right there. So definitely trying to get secure a copy for yourself, just for the overall collection purposes. So let's kind of take a look at the parts right now. So I did upgrade everything to level 80, 5-star gold marks, 2 gold marks actually. So all these are pretty much what you can expect if you guys do upgrade currently. So just looking at the overall stat, I mean, like, just look at this right now. I guess my only complaint is just the fact that the shot defense is, I don't know, because like this one has some pretty good overall, let's say, base melee attack. That's a starter. But in terms of the overall melee defense, it's pretty much non-existent. Like, just take a look at the melee defense right now. It's only at 40,000. So I really don't know what they were going for when they made this unit. So I was like, honestly, I was quite sad. So in terms of overall war tag that you can kind of expect from this guy, you do have Federation for Desert, and then Pro Tag, which is definitely pretty fine. And then I do have the the standard version pull up here. So I would have to say, even looking at the standard version is not even that shabby, not too shabby at all. Just because this, in terms of this one, it did receive a very good standard alteration. This one came out, I would have to say, during the time that standard alteration was like pretty good. Whenever you see like a new standard alteration, it's gonna be something good, and that is not that is also gonna be no exception for the standard GP01. So if you have to compare, like, all right, if you ask me, for example, which one is good per se, I would definitely say the standard version is definitely not too bad at all. So definitely, if you do want to get the standard version up and going, like pretty good, you want it to look pretty good for your build whatsoever, you would have to alterate it, just because of the fact that just looking at it right now, an alterated version it sucks. That's definitely for sure. But this one over here, so let's kind of take a look at some EX skill. But I'll have to say, in terms of the EX skill, there's good and bad. So let's kind of talk about the bad portion first. So first EX skill, we have a crit rate up. So you guys already know at this point in time, crit in this game is just so bad. But I don't know why. Not only did they put one crit up, they put 2. So they put one in the torso section, and then they put one over at the shield, which is like, why? I was like, why would they put this one up? So this one is like crit rate up by 78%. I don't care if you put crit rate up to 100%, it's not gonna be effective at all. Like, I don't know, this one is honestly quite sad. In terms of the standard version, the shield was like fairly good. This one is another one of those supporting type, but this one is buffing your ally melee and shot attack up, which is like, I say this one is better. 10 times better than the one that we have gotten for the welfare version. So that was definitely unfortunate. But in terms of the good aspect of it, in terms of the back EX skill, we are still getting the battle cry, but instead of putting this one as like a regular casting EX skill whatsoever, they turned this one into a counter casting EX skill. So that is definitely a big surprise, and this is honestly the first time that they have done something like that. So in terms of the overall conditions, they definitely made an improvement as well. So this one is simply gonna recover for 8% of your health, and then also increase your melee attack up by a 39%, and also gonna be you are also gonna resistant to flinching for a set period of time. So this is definitely a very much of an improvement compared to the standard one, if I recall. Yeah, this one is definitely not that hot, because this one is like, you get the health recovery to squad, but you're not getting like an actual melee attack up, which is like probably the biggest factor, like the biggest letdown for this one. So looking at the welfare version, that is definitely a redemption for sure. So let me quickly talk about the overall stat, and just want to see what's going on. So stat wise, as you guys can definitely see, that shot defense is so high compared to melee defense. So that was like, what? That makes some sense. Looking over at the torso, is there anything that sparks my interest? Not really. Armor, melee attack, and melee or shot defense definitely on that 4K digit, so that looks pretty good, honestly. Moving over to the arm, okay, so these two have some portrait or EXQ, so we don't need to talk about the portrait, or there is no portrait to talk about, excuse me. And then looking over at the arm is like honestly pretty solid, just judging by the fact that the overall, like the flat out base melee attack is 8,500, which is actually pretty good. And you also do have some pretty respectable portrait, you know, with speed attribute active, melee power boost by 25%. So this portrait of it is actually quite good. But take a look at that melee defense. It's only 1,500. Like, oh man, I was so sad looking at this one. I was like, unfortunately. Alright, so moving over to the leg is also going to be a great addition as well, because this one is going to be another easy to max out. EXQ CD reduced by 20%, so that's actually pretty good. And the backpack we've gone over already, so we're not going to go over it once again. Looking over at the beam rifle, stat wise looks pretty promising. You do have some pretty good chunks of shot defense, so that's definitely not a surprise there. Portrait wise, definitely what? This one is one of those like fun portrait where you can kind of like have no burning consumption for the first 10 seconds, or just that first 10 seconds after you buff, so that's cool and all that, but definitely not any meta portrait looking at. And I mean, that's honestly it. So overall stat is definitely a little bit wonky, but it does have some pretty good potential for your overall melee attack, I guess. So let me put this into a quick run, I guess, and this kind of test out the actual bindable EXQ. And this one to test out to see if we have any brand new EXQ or it's just the same old battle cry. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm actually going to be putting this test into a creative mission over here. So we have ourselves the GP01 versus the GP02. what a feeling when to actually do it. So what I'll actually do in terms of the GP02, I equipped it with the Barbados Warform Maze EXQ. So that is a bindable EXQ. So I'm going to activate Battle Cry, and then we're just going to see the countering. Just want to see what kind of, you know, animation we're getting. And then I'm also going to be showing you guys how useless the crit rate up alpha is. I'm going to do some few normal shooting attacks, and then I'm going to activate the crit rate up. You guys can see that we're not even going to be getting any increase in damage whatsoever. So with that said, let's gonna get started and see how it goes. Alright, so we are in. So this one, you know, this should be a space map, right? And we are not even fully equipped with the actual full variant, so we're not even space equipped. So kind of unfortunate. So let me activate this. Like, if we ever, let's say, get a GP01 full variant version as the warp unit, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very good indeed. So. Okay, so we are doing a lot of damage. Oh my gosh, that was actually quite a lot. Okay, let me do some normal shooting real quick. Okay, we're doing 0. Okay. How unfortunate. Oh, we just punching him. Okay, that was it. So I guess I'll do another testing. This time around, I am gonna amp up in terms of the overall damage, because I did kind of set, you know, tone down in terms of how much damage I'm able to output. So let me change the setting just a little bit, and then we'll go back to test out the critical rate up alpha. Alright, so we are back once again. So this time around, let me do some actual normal shooting. I just want to see, you know, I do want to proctor, let's say, the critical rate up alpha and show you guys that is not that good. So let me see what kind of normal attack with still 0. Are you kidding me? So in terms of overall melee attack, this is what are we getting? So let me activate the critical rate up. So supposedly we should be getting, you know, getting that crit up, right? Yeah. Do you guys see any damage difference activating crit? I know the only difference I'm seeing is like, oh, I got like a yellow text for my kind of like the damage marker. I mean, that's pretty much it. So yeah, crit is just not that good. Like, look at that. You think crit is good? Like, even on a custom mission, I'm not able to do any good damage with shooting attack. Like, kind of granted, I did set the damage a little bit lower, but like, I expect crit to be kind of quote unquote good, but nope, crit is just awful. Now look at that. I'm not even doing any more damage than like the basic normal attack. So let's show you guys that in terms of, let's say, critical rate up, just any formula, it's just so bad. So I mean, like, I don't even know, is it too late to actually change it up? And let's say crit rate, like having crit rate to actually increase your overall damage, that would be great. But I would not know how they can actually implement that. But with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it in terms of the overall Warfare GP01. So in terms of the counter EX skill, that is definitely a much needed addition to, like, you know, if they were just to give us like a generic blend battle cry, for example, and just maybe give us like an actual D power, I would have been upset. But the fact that they you know, changed it up to being like a counter EX skill, I definitely take that. So definitely a right direction into kind of changing the overall ness of the unit overall. But I mean, it's not like the biggest change overall, but it is still something that they're trying to do, so I would definitely give them credit for that. But with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it in terms of the overall GPO1 welfare version review, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.